Hey everybody, VSG Joe here. Today we're doing another Cooking After Weight Loss series, and we are making lasagna today. So, I know you're thinking, oh, lasagna, big pasta dish, it's gonna not be weight loss friendly, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna make it weight loss surgery friendly. So, ingredients today, looks like a lot, not really a whole lot here, but obviously you're gonna need some meat. What I'm using today is just ground Italian sausage. That's it. If you can't find it just in bulk like this, feel free to just use links and then just cut the links open. You don't need the casings. We've got about half of a white onion that I've diced up finely and 3 cloves of garlic. We've also got some just spaghetti sauce. Use your favorite brand. This one happens to be Hunt's. Whatever. You can use what you want. We do have some parsley that I've got cut up here. This, if I had to guess, is probably about a 1/4 cup. We're going to use that in both the meat sauce and in the cheese as well. So, moving on, I know everyone's saying, how do we do this? How do we make it to where it's not pasta? For the pasta piece of this, Wonton Wrappers. So we're actually going to use these, and I'll show you how to kind of get them where we need them to be. But we're going to use these to take the place of the pasta that would be in a traditional lasagna. Other than that, all the other ingredients are pretty much the same for any other lasagna. For the cheese filling, I've got ricotta cheese, I've got cottage cheese, I've got some mozzarella, and I've got an egg to kind of bind all that together. And we're going to get all that mixed up. To start off, like everything, I'm going to go ahead and get my pan preheating. I've got just a small or a medium-sized skillet. We're going to start the meat in there first and get that all broken up and browned. I'm going to go ahead and start that, put it over medium-high heat. We'll get this going, and we'll get back to you guys in just a few minutes, show you where we're at. All right, everybody, so we are back. I have got this browning up. We're almost there. Still got some that's cooking in, so I'm going to take my little handy chopper here. I want to get the pieces broken up nice and small. So as you can see here, pretty much almost all the way browned up. We got the pieces nice and small in there, but it's not all the way cooked. So to this, I've got my onions and garlic, and so I'm just going to add that into the pan. So we scrape it all out there, and just stir that in. All right, we're going to let that start cooking, but we're also going to go ahead and we're going to add in a little bit of this fresh parsley. And then also a couple tablespoons of this just Italian seasoning mix that I have. There we go. About good. Alright, so we're going to let this go. Just need the onions to soften up a bit, and then we'll add our sauce in. So I'm going to turn this down just a bit because you don't want your pan too hot, because when you add the sauce in, it'll start scorching. Then it starts bubbling, then it starts making a mess everywhere, and then, you know, you've got spousal issues for, you know, cleaning and such. So we're going to let that go, simmering nicely there. Take our stuff back over here. Alright, so we're going to let this go. I'm going to get my stuff ready and change my camera angle so we can do the cheese sauce, and then we should be good to go here in just a second, guys. Alright everybody, so we're going to get together the cheese filling for the lasagna. It's pretty easy actually. So right here I've got a 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese into the bowl. Right here I've got actually 1 cup of cottage cheese, so that's going to go in the bowl as well. And it's going to be stubborn, so there we go. There goes off. Here I've got 2/3 cup of mozzarella, so we're going to put that in. Then we're going to add in a bit more of this parsley. And I'm just eyeballing this. This is probably a couple tablespoons. We're going to add in the 1 egg. Say protein, everybody. And then just a little salt and pepper in here as well. And just don't overdo it. Some of the cheeses that you use will have a lot of salt content in them, so just kind of be careful with it. You don't want to go crazy. Alright. And then all you do here is we're just stirring this to combine all the ingredients. Voila. So at the end of that, it should be a nice gooey mixture in there, and that will melt just nicely once we get everything together. So while everything is still cooking there, show you how to do with these wontons. So we're using these wontons. It's actually because they're a lot lower in carbs. 3 of these actually have only 11 grams of carbs in them, and you might think that sounds like a lot, but there's only going to be 2 inside of each ramekin that we make the lasagna in, and we're going to cut them down. So you're really not going to get 11 carbs out of each one of these, but there's a lot less than what a traditional pasta would be. So I've got my ramekin, and instead of trying to stuff this whole thing in there, we're just going to cut it down to what we need. So just grab a paring knife, put your ramekin in the middle, go around the edges just like you're making a pie, only we can't have pie anymore, or we shouldn't have pie anymore. And I'm not a lefty, so I'm just trying not to cut myself on this side. And looks good to me. So peel away all the pieces here. And ta-da, you've got your nice little sets of wontons. So I'm gonna go ahead, and it is time now, I can hear it over on the stove. It's time to go ahead and add the sauce into there. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna finish cutting up my ramekins, and I'll come back here in just a few minutes. I'll show you guys how to put everything together. All right, everybody, we are back. I had my sauce simmering for about 10 or 15 minutes just to let everything kind of come together. And now we're at the point we are ready to go ahead and assemble these. So first thing is, these are ramekins. They're half cup ramekins, so a pretty good size for us as far as weight loss surgery patients. Obviously, if you need bigger ones, use bigger ones, but this should be good for most weight loss surgery patients. You don't need any non-stick cooking spray, anything like that. All you need to do is, to keep these from sticking, is you want to take a little bit of your sauce and just put it down at the bottom. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be a lot. Just that little bit will really keep everything from sticking to the bottom once you start building these. So I'm going to put a little bit of sauce down. And for this piece, I'm trying to just get the sauce and not so much any of the meat. But if you get some meat down there, it's not going to hurt anything, guys. All right, so first things first, you take wonton wrapper that we've cut down. And go ahead and push that down in there. Make sure it gets down flat. Take you a good spoonful of the sauce, dump that in there. Then you're going to take a spoonful of the cheese and dump that in there, and just make sure you're spreading it out across the whole thing. So it should look something like that. And then it's lasagna, it's a layered dish, so we're just going to rinse and repeat, so to speak. So put this in. Go with another spoonful of sauce here. Get a little bit more in there. Make sure it's spread all the way across. Hit it with some more of the cheese. Whoops. And make a mess because it's lasagna, right? Alright. So we're there. We've got 2 layers in there. And then all I do to finish this off is I'm going to take a little bit of mozzarella and just put that across the top. So final looks like that. So onto a baking sheet, I'm gonna put that one. So that's really it to assembling these guys. So let me go ahead, I won't make you guys sit through all that. I'm gonna go ahead and get these going, get them all in there, and then I'll be back and show you guys what it looks like before it gets into the oven. All right, everybody, we're back. We got them all done, and here we go. So we got 8 of these. I've got all the macros and stuff. It'll be in the description box below. All that's left to do on these is put them in a preheated 375-degree oven. Let them go about 20-25 minutes, and we'll be all set. Be ready to eat. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in the oven, and once they're done, I will get back with you guys, and I'll show you what they look like. But that is it, guys. So final macros on these, because I know a lot of people like to see the macros. They're 213 calories, 12 grams of fat, 12 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of protein. Those are net carbs, by the way. Most of that, like I said, comes from the Wonton Wrappers. Also, there's a good bit in the Cottage Cheese. Just keep in mind, be careful what ingredients you buy when you're making this. One of the things I did find was when I went to actually get Ricotta Cheese, the one I ended up getting only has 2 grams of carbs and it has like 7 grams of protein. However, the other brand that I was looking at actually had 7 grams of carbs in it. So you can pick up quite a bit of carbs. Same thing with your spaghetti sauce. Just make sure that you're using one that's lower in carbs. If you get something that's 10 or 15 carbs in it for, you know, half a cup or a couple cups and you're spreading it across a bunch like this, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference, guys. But just keep that in mind when you're looking for ingredients. Yours may not come out the same way as mine. Yours might be a little higher, a little lower in carbs, a little higher, a little lower in protein, etc. But other than that, guys, these are cooling off. It is time for us to eat. So I'm going to go ahead and eat. We'll start editing out the videos and hopefully get this up before too long. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching and appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like, leave a comment, and as always, tag me on Instagram if you do make them. I'd love to see how your guys' came out. See you next time, guys.